Okay, I think we are live. Hi, good evening all. Welcome back to Cracku. We will be doing IPMAT another session. We'll be doing the session on triangles. Yesterday the session was on mixtures and alligation. It is also an important topic because there has you would have seen that there is a direct question on mixture and alligation a lot of times, especially in competitive exams. Currently, as we don't know what the complete syllabus will be for IPMAT, so not IPMAT, but IIM Bangalore UG entrance exam. So we'll be covering all the important topics. Today we will be doing triangles. It is an important topic within geometry. So yeah, we'll be doing the complete triangles, all the important topics within triangles only. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be our schedule. Yesterday we did mixtures and alligation. Yesterday you would have done mixture and alligation. Today we'll be doing triangles. Then the upcoming schedule is tomorrow you will have number system, then circles, which is also an important topic of geometry. Number system will be my fellow friend will be covering all the important topics of number system, and I would suggest you guys to not miss out, especially number system, because in this you will be covering a lot of other aspects also, which will help you in solving questions not directly involving any aspect of number system. It will help you a lot in solving other type of question also by just understanding some key important topics within number system. For example, factors, coprime. This will help you within geometry or algebra also. Then we have permutation combination. You would have studied permutation and combination in your class 12th. Here the scope is little vast. Till class 12th you would have studied PNC within a narrow circumstances only, but actually it is applied in a broad manner, and considering you will be studying in your undergraduation, because it is actually considered an important topic. So I think that IIM Bangalore will definitely going to test this, so you should not also be missing this topic. Then we have upcoming webinar on Sunday, which will be 3 to 4:30. My friend will be taking the webinar, and you guys can ask all your doubts related to the program. Even if you have doubts related to syllabus or eligibility or application form or any other thing, I would suggest you guys highly to join this webinar. You can directly ask your doubts to the faculty. Then we have another topic on Monday, which will be on quadrilaters. I would suggest you guys to not miss out on any important topic, because you don't know what can be the syllabus. So you should be better prepared for all the important topics. Next we have on Cracku, we have 5 free IIM Bangalore mocks. We have created this mocks after considering a lot of factors and thinking what the IIM Bangalore can test, and all these mocks are free. So I would suggest you guys to appear for the mocks and don't delay it, since the exam is in next month only. You would not be having a lot of time, so it is better to appear for a mock and see what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Understand that if you are good with quants or your LR and you are weak with any other subject, so start working on your weak sections and keep on working on your strong sections. But that thing you can only understand when you start appearing for mocks. We are giving 5 free mocks. You can go to Cracku, or you can go to Google and search Cracku IIM B UG mock test, and you will get the first link for mock test. Go there and appear for the mocks. There is one more important update here. Today only, IIM Bangalore has updated this on their website, that they are also going to conduct a webinar in which they will be helping students clearing their doubts. So the session will be on 15th November at 2 p.m. 2 to 3 p.m. They have their links on the website. You can go to this page, this web page, register yourself, and if you are having some doubts, just make sure that you make a list of all the doubts that you have related to syllabus, related to eligibility, related to the program, what are the key features of the program or anything. It is possible that you are having a lot of doubt because there's not a lot of information about this program on the web page on the website. So I would suggest that make a complete list and ask your doubts there. So you can join the program. This is on official website. You can go to the page, and this is being conducted by IIM Bangalore directly. So that also you can get your doubts clarified directly from the institution. Similarly, if you are having any doubts and if you are unsure about whether you miss out on such updates or not, you can join WhatsApp group of Cracku that you can find in the description. That whenever there is any such update, we are updating the same in the WhatsApp group. So to ensure that you don't miss out on such important things, just join the group and you are good to go. We'll be updating all the things within that group only. With that, we can start our session. So yeah, our session is on today's session is on triangles. Basic thing you would have known in your school, that okay, triangle is something, it has three sides, it is a closed figure. We'll be covering something beyond that. So we'll be starting with the properties of triangle. First thing, we already know that triangle is a closed figure. It has three sides, and when you join the three sides and make a closed figure, it will be a triangle. Now another important feature of triangle is that sum of the interior angles. If you have a triangle, let's say this, then it has three angles. The name itself says that triangles. It means three angles, made of three angles. So if you have three angles, the sum of all the three angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So sum of interior angles is equal to 180 degree. Similarly, you have exterior angles. What do I mean by exterior angles? So let's say if you have this triangle, if I do this way, so this angle will be interior. This angle will be interior angle. And all these angles will be exterior angles. So sum of all these three exterior angles will be equal to 360 degree. Sum of exterior angles will be equal to 360 degree. These are two important things that you should know. The sum of all the interior angles is equal to 180 degree, and sum of all the exterior angles will be equal to 360 degree. Third thing, now this is going to be very important, because how do you know that if you are given three sides, how do you know that if a triangle can be made or not? It is possible that I give you three sides and those three sides are not enough to make a complete figure. For that, we have third point, that sum of the length of two sides must be greater than the third side. For example, if I tell you the three sides are A, B and C, how do you check that if a triangle is possible? For that, we have sum of any two sides must be greater than the third side. So A plus B should be greater than C, B plus C should be greater than A, and A plus C should be greater than B. If the triangles satisfies these three equations, then we have one more point, that the difference of the length of the two sides must be smaller than the third side. That is, if you have these three sides, okay, the difference of any two sides must be smaller than the third side. For example, difference of A and B, this must be smaller than third side. Or we can say the difference of B and C must be smaller than A. Or we can say the difference of A and C must be smaller than B. If your triangle satisfies these three equations, if the three sides are given, then we can say that okay, triangle is possible. Now if you join these two equations, you will get, if the three sides are A, B and C, then sum of two sides must be greater than the third side, and this must be greater than the difference of two sides. Or we can say, if you have the three sides A, B and C, then A plus B should be greater than C, and this should be greater than A minus B. We are putting this into mod because we don't know if A is greater or B is greater, and a side cannot be negative. Another one can be if B plus C should be greater than A, and this should be greater than B minus C. Or we can say A plus C should be greater than B, and this should be greater than A minus C. Now this is these three things you should know whenever you are given three sides and you are asked if the triangle is possible. Or it is possible that you are given two sides only and you are asked what can be the maximum or minimum, or what can be the range of the third side. If you know this rule, then you can find the range. So our second and third and fourth point says the same thing. Now fifth point is sum of two interior angles is equal to an exterior angle. We have, let's say, a triangle here. This is, let's say, alpha, this is, let's say, beta. We say that the sum of these two interior angles will be equal to the exterior angle. How? It is simple to prove this. Let's say this third angle be x. So we can say alpha plus beta plus x is equal to 180 degree. Or we can say x is equal to 180 degree minus alpha and minus beta. So we get the value for x. We get this value, that is 180 minus alpha and minus beta. Now we know that on a straight line the angle is 180 degree. So for now, if we assume that this is A, so sum of these two angles should be equal to 180 degree. So we can say that 180 minus alpha minus beta plus A, this should be equal to 180 degree. 180 degree and 180 degree can cancel out, so A will be equal to alpha plus beta. That's exactly what is sum of two interior angles. So whenever you are given the sum of two interior angles, then the exterior angle of the third side will be equal to the sum of those two interior angles. Here we can say that alpha and beta are given, so sum of these two will be the sum of the exterior angle of the third side. Similarly, you can do for any two angles. And last point we have, side opposite to the largest angle will be the longest one. Now this point is very intuitive. If you notice, if you have a triangle, let's say this, okay, now it has this angle, let's say this is theta. The more theta is, the wider the two sides will be. If this is theta, let's say there is another angle, let's make it more wider. This is, let's say, alpha. Now if you notice between theta and alpha, you know that alpha is greater than theta. Now if you look at the opposite side, notice which side is larger. You will clearly say the side opposite to alpha is wider or longest. With this we can say that the angle which is the largest, the side opposite to that will be equal to the longest one, because if the angle is largest, it will be more wider, and the more wider it will be, the two other legs of the triangle will make it long for the third side to join. For example, this way, if this angle is more wider, it will create for these two parts to join, the more it will make more wider. So with this we can say that if the angle is largest angle, the opposite side will be longest. So these are the 6 important properties of a triangle that you should know, and it will be helpful in you in solving a lot of questions. Okay, we'll move on to next slide. Okay, so there are different types of triangles we have. Basically, we have divided the triangles based on 2 properties. The first property is based on the first classification is based on sides. We know that there are 3 sides in a triangle. If we assume that all the 3 sides are different, then it will be a scalene triangle. So a scalene triangle will be all 3 sides are different. You can clearly, if you are given the sides, you can notice that if the sides are different, it will be a scalene triangle. What is isosceles triangle? That is, if 2 sides are equal and 1 side is different. We have if 2 sides are same and third side is different, then it will be an isosceles triangle. Lastly, we have equilateral triangle. You can clearly notice that, okay, first is scalene triangle where all the 3 sides are different. Second, where 2 sides are same but third side is different. Equilateral is when all the 3 sides are equal. All 3 sides are equal. Now there is a you are going to study equilateral triangle in depth later on. We'll cover that in today's class also, because it has some unique properties and a lot of questions are asked directly on equilateral triangle. So we'll study how the area of the equilateral triangle is derived and what is its height and all. We'll study that later on. So this is based on sides. Scalene triangle where all the 3 sides are different. Isosceles triangle where 2 sides are same but 1 is different. And equilateral triangle where all the 3 sides are equal. So we have studied the classification of triangles based on sides. Now we have classification of triangle based on angles. If you notice that we have a degree based on a circle. A circle has 360 degrees. A half circle has 180 degree, and half of that is equal to 90 degree. So acute triangle is the triangle where all the 3 sides are less than 90 degree. All 3, not sides but all 3 angles, my bad, all 3 angles are less than 90 degree. Right angle triangle. In right angle triangle there is one angle which is equal to exactly 90 degree and other 2 are less than 90 degree. So it has one angle is equal to 90 degree and other angles are less than 90 degree. The third type of, sorry, my bad, this was obtuse triangle. Okay, this is right angle triangle. I'll write it here. Okay, so one angle is equal to 90 degree and 2 other angles are less than 90 degree. We have obtuse triangle. Now first triangle acute where all the 3 angles are less than 90 degree. Right angle triangle where one angle is exactly 90 and the other 2 angles are less than 90 degree. Obtuse angle is where is one angle is more than 90 degree and the other 2 are less than 90 degrees. And other 2 angles are less than 90 degree. Now if you notice at the shapes, you can easily realize that acute triangle is something where no triangle is so if we say this is a right angle triangle, this is 90, the gap between two sides will always be less than 90 degree. So it will be something of this form. So this will be acute triangle. If you notice, none of the angle is either straight line or more than that. It is always less than a perpendicular proper. Acute triangle. If you notice a right angle triangle, there is one angle which is exactly 90 degrees. So 90 degree is this form, and you can join the other side. This is equal to exactly 90 degree, and these other two angles will be less than 90 degree. So this will be right angle triangle. The third is where one side is more than 90 degree. So we will be having the angle something like this. This is more than 90 degree, and other two angles will be less than 90 degree. So this will be obtuse angle triangle. If you notice, this is 90 degree. If you increase the angle, this will be more than 90 degree, and here all the three angles are less than 90 degree. Within this, there is one more important thing that you should remember, that in acute angle triangle, let's say in acute angle triangle or acute angle triangle, let's say the three sides are A, B and C. Now if you notice, you will notice this thing, that the sum of the square of any two sides will always be greater than the third side. That is, B square plus C square will also be greater than A square, and A square plus C square will also be greater than B square. You will notice this trend definitely in an acute angle triangle. In right angle triangle, you will notice that this is right angle triangle. Let's say this is A, this is B and C. This is C. So the angle opposite to 90 degree, the square of that will be equal to the sum of the square of other two sides. That is, the square of this side, C square, will be equal to sum of the square of other two sides, A square plus B square. Now in the previous slide, we studied that the length of the side that is opposite to the longest angle will be highest. In this acute triangle, we don't know what is the highest angle. We don't know. So we can't say which side will be longest one. But in right angle triangle, we definitely know that this is equal to 90 degree and other two angles are less than 90 degree. So we clearly know that this is the highest angle or largest angle, and the side opposite to largest angle will be the longest one. So clearly we can say here C is the longest side. And last we have obtuse angle triangle. Here we have one angle is more than 90 degrees. So it will be something like this. This is, let's say, A, this is B and this is C. In this case, again this will be the longest angle. So we clearly know that the C will be the longest side, and the square of the longest side is more than the sum of the square of the other two sides. This is something that you need to remember. In acute angle triangle, the sum of the square of other two sides will be greater than the third side. In case of right angle triangle, the sum of the square of the longest side will be equal to the sum of the square of other two sides. In case of obtuse triangle, the sum of the square of the longest side, square of the longest side will be more than the sum of the square of the other two sides. With that, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, Pythagoras theorem. Basically, Pythagoras theorem is limited to right angle triangle, it says that the sum of the square of the two sides will be equal to the third side, and this happens in right angle triangle only, as we just discussed in the last slide. That in a right angle triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse, that is the side opposite to the right angle, is equal to the sum of the square of the length of sum of the squares of the length of the other two sides. Let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C. This is equal to 90 degree and AC is equal to hypotenuse. In right angle triangle, hypotenuse is equal to the longest side. So here Pythagoras theorem says that AC square, that is the square of the longest side, is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. That is AB square and BC square. Now with that, we have a lot of Pythagoras triplets. What do I mean by Pythagoras triplets? Basically some pairs which will definitely satisfy this equation. For example, we have 3, 4 and 5. 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. Another triplet can be you multiply any triplet with any number, it will again form a Pythagoras triplet. For example, 3, 4, 5, if you multiply all the three sides with 2, so I will get 6, 8 and 10. This will also form a Pythagoras triplet. 6 square plus 8 square is equal to 10 square. So there are a lot of Pythagoras triplet you can remember. Also understand that any Pythagoras triplet which is multiplied, or if all the three terms of the triplet are multiplied with a specific number, that new formation will also make a Pythagoras triplet. So yeah, this is about Pythagoras theorem. You would have studied this in your earlier class also, so we will not stretch this further. Midpoint theorem. This is an interesting theorem. Basically it says that, let's just read first. The segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and is half as long as the third side. For example, if we have a triangle, let's say this is a triangle A, B and C. If you join midpoints of any two sides, let's say midpoint of AB is this and midpoint of AC is this, and if you join this, so midpoint theorem says that this line, the new line, will be parallel to the third side, and this line will be exactly half of this side, because it is dividing the triangle into proportions. This point is basically half of this point, and this point is also half of this point. That is why this side will be half of the third side, and it will also be parallel to the third side. So it says that if you join the midpoints of two sides, it will be parallel to the third side, and it will also be half as long as the third side. There can be direct question on this. For example, if I tell you there are two sides, the length of, there is a isosceles triangle, the side of two equal sides is 6 and the side of the third side is, let's say, 10. So what will be the length of the side which is joining the two equal sides? So if we say that this is a triangle, it is an isosceles triangle ABC, the two equal sides are 6 and the third side is 10. If I join the midpoints of AB and AC, now we can find the length of this. We clearly know that this is making a midpoint theorem, and the length of this is exactly half of the third side, which is equal to 5. So these theorems can help you solve some questions very quickly, and if not direct questions, they can help you basically they can be applied when solving some questions, and if not directly, if not a direct question asked on this, they can be part of the solution of some questions, which is helpful if you know the theorems. Then you will not need to realize or extract or basically derive, or it will make the calculations and understanding of the figures very easy. And then we have one more theorem, proportionality theorem. It is basically midpoint theorem is because of basic proportionality theorem. It says that if I have a triangle, if I join the two sides in a particular, if I join two points on two sides in a particular ratio. For example, let's say this is triangle A, this is B, and this is C. Then if the 2 points parallel to the third side, let's say this is the point here and it is the point here, I have joined this line parallel to this, then this ratio and this will be equal to this and this. For example, let's say this is D and this is E. If the third side, if a line is joined parallel to the third side, then AD divided by DB is equal to AE divided by E and C. Question can be asked like, there is a triangle which has the lengths 6, 8 and 10. A line parallel to the third side, or let's say parallel to BC, is joined on the other two sides from here till here. The point on AB is D. The point on AE is E. AC is E. Now if you are given that AD is equal to 4, find AE. Now you know that this line is parallel to the third side. That means this proportion and this proportion will be equal to these two other proportions. Or we can say AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. Same proportion. Then we know that AD is equal to 4. If AD is 4, this whole length is 6, then this will be equal to 2. And the same ratio will be AE. We don't know AE. Let's say AE is X. So EC will be 8 minus X. This will be equal to X upon 8 minus X. And you can find the value of X. This way, if you are given that if a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle, it divides the other two sides in a proportion. So these two sides will be divided in some proportion. And in midpoint theorem, it says the same thing. If a line parallel to the third side is joined, then this and this will be proportion. And we know that this point is dividing them into equal ratios because these are the midpoint. So this will be 1:1 and this will also be 1:1. This says the proportionality theorem. Okay, yeah, we'll move on. Now, area of triangle. Basically, there are many ways to find the area of a triangle. It depends on which kind of triangle it is. You can simplify some of the formulas to calculate the area based on which type of triangle it is. We'll study that. Basically, there are three types we have. First, if you are given the base of the triangle and if you are given the height of the triangle. For example, the triangle is this. You are given this base. Let's say this is B. And you are given this height. Let's say this is H. Then area of the triangle will be half times base into height. This is something very simple. You would have studied already this in your earlier classes. Another triangle says that another type of triangle where you are not given the base or height. Then it can be if you are given two sides and if you are given the angle between them. For example, this is the triangle. Let's say this side is given, this is let's say S1 and this side is given S2 and you are given the angle between them. Let's say the angle is equal to theta. Then also you can find the area of the triangle. In this case, the area will be half times side 1 into side 2 into sine theta. The angle you are given, you will use sine theta and you will multiply that. and you will get the area of this triangle. Now if you are given all the three sides, let's say there is a triangle A, B and C, and you are given all the three sides, then here you don't know height, so you can't use the first one. Here you also don't know the angle between two sides, so you don't use the second one. So what can you use? For that we have one specific formula which is called Heron's formula. It says that first you will find the semi-perimeter of the triangle. Semi-perimeter, which is half of the perimeter. You can easily find out the semi-perimeter because you know all the three sides. So semi-perimeter will be sum of all the three sides divided by 2. Let's say semi-perimeter is equal to S. Then you have simple straightforward formula, that is under root S times S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Let's do this. Let's say there is a triangle whose sides are 3, 4 and 5. It's a easy, basically we have taken this so that we can calculate the area in a short. Otherwise in under root most of the times the calculations might get little messier. So we have taken some smaller values. First thing, we will find the semi-perimeter. Semi-perimeter is equal to perimeter divided by 2. So S is equal to sum of all the three sides, 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2, which is equal to 6. Now Heron's formula says that under root of S is 6 into 6 minus A is the first side, so 6 minus A will be, A is 3 into 6 minus B is the second side, 4 into 6 minus 5, that is under root 6 into, this will be 3 into, this will be 2 into 1, or this is nothing but 6 into 6, or under root 6 square, which will cancel out, so the area will be equal to 6 square units. So you can easily find out the area if you are given all the three sides. This way we have these three formulas. Whatever values you are given, you see what can you apply and then find out the area. Now next thing, when you approach triangle a little further, there are some more things. We'll study some important terms first. First is median. Now median is nothing but, if you have a triangle, from any side of the vertex, if you go to the opposite side and if you meet at the middle point, for example, let's say this is A, this is B and this is C. Now midpoint of BC, let's say this is D. Any side which is joining the vertex and the midpoint of the opposite side, this length is equal to median. It is joining the midpoint. Sorry, it is meeting at the midpoint. Similarly, from B, let's say the midpoint of AC is this point. Let's say this is E. So joining this AD, this BE, this is also equal to a median, because it is again starting from one vertex and meeting at the middlemost point of the opposite side. Similarly, there, let's say the midpoint of AB is this F. If you join CF, then this will be also a median. So median is nothing but from one vertex, if you join a line which is opposite of the midpoint, midpoint of the opposite side. If you join these 2 points, the vertex and the midpoint of the opposite side, then you will get a median. What is centroid? The point at which all three medians meet. Here, this will be equal to centroid. the point at which all three medians meet. Centroid, let's say, is equal to meeting point of AD, BE and CF. So the point where all three meets is equal to is called centroid. Now there is one specific property about centroid that you need to remember, that centroid divides median in 2:1 ratio. Let's say AD is something we know. Let's say this centroid is I. So AD is median, and we have told that this centroid, this point divides this median into 2:1 ratio. It means A to I ratio I to D will be 2:1, and the same will apply for other medians also. For example, BE is also a median and I is a centroid. So centroid will divide this median into 2:1 ratio. So BI is to IE will again be 2:1. And the same thing will be for the third also, that is CI is to IF will be equal to 2:1. So in short, median is when from one vertex you join a line to the middle point of the opposite side. This will be median. When all three medians meet, it will be called centroid, and centroid divides the median into the ratio 2:1. These are the three important points that you need to understand. Now what is altitude? Similarly to median, if you drop a line that is perpendicular to the opposite side, from this I join this line, this is perpendicular, or basically drop by with which it makes a 90-degree angle with the opposite side. This line will be called at altitude. It is not necessarily that median is also at altitude. It is not necessary. Similarly, let's understand with a unique example. Let's say this. This is A, this is B, and this is C. Now midpoint of BC will be somewhere here. So if I join this will be a median. And from A, if I drop an altitude will be 90 degrees. So this will be altitude. So this side will be altitude. This way you can distinguish between median and altitude. Median drops at the midmost point and altitude makes a 90-degree angle. Now these are two common terms that you will be reading a lot, and you will get to familiarize when you start doing a lot of triangles question, that is in radius and circumradius. Both of these terms are relatable. For example, there is a triangle. If I make a circle inside this triangle and that circle touches all the three sides, so the radius of such circle will be called in radius. This is the radius of this circle. So this will be called in radius. And if I make a circle outside this triangle, let's say this, such that it touches all the three vertices, then the radius of this circle will be equal to circumradius. It is simple. If you make the circle inside the triangle, it will be in radius, or radius of that circle will be called in radius. And if you make a circle outside the triangle and making sure that it touches all the three vertices, the radius of that circle will be called circumradius. This point, the center of this circle will be in center. This will be circumcenter. So these are the 5 important terms that you should know. It will be helpful further. AE is the midpoint of AC. AE is not the midpoint, E is the midpoint. AE and EC will be equal. E is the midpoint of AC side. I hope this is clear. Okay, we'll move on now. Okay, we have this important concept. Basically, we know the area, we know the in radius, and we know the circumradius. There is a relation between these two. That is, first we will understand the relation between area of triangle and in radius. The relation between them is very simple. That is, area of the triangle is equal to in radius into semi perimeter. So if you are given anything, if you are given the three sides, you can find out the semi perimeter, you can find out the area. By putting this into the equation, you can also find out the in radius. So this is one simple relation, that if you are given the area of the triangle, the relation is area of the triangle is equal to in radius into r into semi perimeter, or you can say area is equal to r dot s or r into s. This into might be confusing, so let's say r dot s. Area is equal to r dot s. S is the semi perimeter of the triangle, r is equal to in radius. In radius again the radius of the circle which is inside the triangle and touching all the three sides. The second relation is area of the triangle and circumradius. Yeah, for that we have simple relation, that is area of triangle is equal to ABC divided by 4R. ABC is nothing but the three sides. A, B, C is equal to three sides of a triangle. Divide by 4R. R, you know, R is equal to circumradius. If you are given the circumradius or the three sides, you can find R. All in all, if you are given the area of the triangle and if you are given the sides, you can find out the in radius and you can find out the circumradius also. This is a direct relation between two, so you should remember them. Okay, we'll move on now. Okay, now as we discussed that equilateral triangle is a important type of triangle because it has all the three sides equal. So there is something that you should know about it more, and we can easily calculate them using direct formulas. So we'll study all the things. First thing, area. Now first understand that if we have an equilateral triangle, it means all the three sides are equal. Let's say the three sides are A and A. If all the three sides are equal, it means all the three angles are also equal. We know that one of the sum of all the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So if we assume that this is x and this is x, so sum of all the three angles should be equal to 180 degree, or 3x should be equal to 180 degree, or we can say x is equal to 60 degree. So we can say all the three angles of a equilateral triangle is equal to 60 degree. So each angle is equal to 60 degree and all the three sides are also equal. Now first we need to find area. We know that in the first equation we learned that half into base into height, this is the area of a triangle. We know the base is equal to A, but we don't know the height. So now understand that if I have an equilateral triangle, this is, let's say, A, this is A and this is A. I can find out the height. How? If I drop a perpendicular, it will meet exactly at the midpoint. For an equilateral triangle, the median and altitude is equal. Median is something which drops at the middlemost point, and in equilateral triangle, altitude also drops at the middlemost point. So we can say this is equal to 90 degree, and this point is half of this point or this length. So we can say this part is equal to a by 2, and this part is also a by 2. So in this figure, can we apply Pythagoras theorem to calculate the height? This is the figure. All we need is height. So we have this 90 degree, this is a by 2, and this is a. Let's say this is height. We know the Pythagoras theorem is sum of the square of the two sides, a by 2 square, is equal to the sum of the square of the hypotenuse. So this will be h square is equal to a square h square plus a square divided by 4 is equal to a square, and h square is equal to a square. This will go to the other side, so minus a square by 4. If we take the LCM, so this will be 1, this will be 4a square minus a square divided by 4, or we can say 3a square divided by 4. This is equal to height square. This is square, we can take it to the other side, that is 3a square divided by 4. A has squared, so a can come out. 4 is square of 2, so this will be 2 under root 3, because 3 cannot come out. So the height is equal to root 3 divided by 2. If we put that into our formula, we have half into base. Base is equal to a into height. Height is root 3 a divided by 2. So area will be root 3 a square divided by 2 into 2, 4. So this is a direct formula for area of equilateral if you are given the side. If you are given the side, let's say side is 10, put the value of 10 and you will get the value of area of the equilateral triangle. So this is a direct formula. Similarly for height also, as we just calculated, if you are given the side, the height will be root 3a divided by 2. Root 3a divided by 2. Now, circumradius and inradius and circumradius of a equilateral triangle. This is very simple. That is inradius is equal to 1/3 of the height of the equilateral triangle, and circumradius is equal to 2/3 of the height of equilateral triangle. The height is here, so 1/3 of this will be somewhere here. This will be equal to inradius, and 2/3 this whole will be equal to circumradius. This is something that you need to learn and it will be helpful. So all you need is you know the height, you know the area of the equilateral triangle, and you can find the inradius and circumradius. So this is about equilateral triangle. There are a lot of times where questions are asked directly on equilateral triangle. If you know the formula, if you know that how that formula is derived, you can find the relation and you can solve the question very quickly. Okay, so now this is more about the theory part. Now we'll start doing some questions based on triangles. This is the first question, very simple and easy question. Let's do this. Okay, so this question was actually straightforward. This is the something which we did in the first slide only. That's why we didn't give a lot of time to this question. It says that what is the largest possible integer value of the third side, okay, of a triangle if two other sides are 5 and 6. So you are given two sides and you are asked the third side. In the first slide only, we understand that if you are given three sides, let's say A, B and C, then sum of the two sides must be greater than the third side, and this third side should be greater than the difference of these two sides. Let's say this is C, which we are finding, third side we are finding, and two sides we already know is 5 and 6. So we can find the range for this third side. If you put the value of A and B, that is 5 and 6, so we will have 5 plus 6. This should be greater than C, and this should be greater than 5 minus 6. So 5 plus 6 is 11. This should be greater than C, third side, and this should be greater than difference of 5 and 6, which is 1. So the range for the side of the third side will be from 1 to 11 excluding both. So it can take 10, 9, 8, 7 up till 2. So we are asked largest possible integer value. Largest possible integer value is only 10. Hence the answer should be option D. It was more of a conceptual question based on how a triangle can be formed. You need to understand this relation. It is going to be very helpful for you. We'll do the next question now. Again, we did equilateral triangle and we applied direct, we understood how you can use direct formula to calculate area and relation between in radius and circumradius. So this question is based on that only. Let's do this. Alright, again the question was straightforward. Directly you can use the formula here, but we'll do both way. First we'll do direct formula and then we'll also understand how you can find if you don't know the formula. First, you are given the height of the triangle. Height of equilateral triangle. Understand this? Equilateral triangle is equal to 24 centimeter. Now we understood that height is equal to root 3 by 2 into side. This is equal to 24 centimeter. Let's revise this. Here we understood that side is equal to root 3 divided by 2. Root 3a. A refers to the side, and in equilateral all the three sides are equal. Yeah. Now I want to find the side. So side is equal to, I can take these two things to the other side. If we take this, this will be reciprocal. 2 is division in divide here, it will go multiply to the other side, and root 3 is in multiply, it will be divided. So side will be 48 root 3. Now understand that 3 it can be written as root 3 into root 3. How? 3 is equal to, if I multiplied two equal values, we can write this as root 3 square, and root and square can cancel out, so this will be 3 into 3. That is why I can write 3 as root 3 into root 3. So 48 can be written as 16 into 3 divided by root 3, or I can write this as 16 into root 3 into root 3 divided by root 3. 3 and root 3 can cancel out. So my side of the equilateral triangle is 16 root 3. Now we are asked the area. Again, we know that area of a equilateral triangle is equal to root 3 divided by 4 into side square. So that is root 3 divided by 4 into side square. Side is 16 root 3 square. That is root 3 by 4 into 16 root 3 into 16 root 3. This can cancel out, this will be 4. 4 into 16 are 64 into root 3 and root 3 multiply is equal to 3 into root 3. If you multiply this will be 192 root 3 centimeter square. This is our area. All we did is we were given the height, from height we backtracked to side, and from side we put that into our formula. We got the area, that is 192 root 3. Now for example, if you don't know the formula, how you will do this? You know that equilateral triangle has all the three sides which are equal. So let's say this is the equilateral triangle, this is A, this is A, this is A, and you are given the height. Height is equal to 24 centimeter. You know that height drops at the middlemost point, so it will divide the third side into two equal parts. This will be A by 2 and this will be A by 2. Again, by using the Pythagoras theorem, this will be 90 degree and this will be 90 degree. So if you apply the Pythagoras theorem here, you will get this side square 24 square plus this side square. This will be equal to the third side, that is hypotenuse A square. That is 24 square is 576. That is equal to plus A square divided by 4 is equal to A square. 576 is equal to A square minus A square by 4. This will go other side, so this will be 3A square divided by 4. Or if you simplify, this will be 192 into 4 is equal to A square. If you cancel 3, this will be the value. You know that you have got the value of A. If you put this into under root, this will be 192. 4 will be equal to 2. This is the value of A. Now if you know that formula, half into base into height. Half into base is this whole equation, this whole side A. A we have found 2 into 1 root 192 into height is 24. 2 and 2 can cancel out. If you solve this, 192 is nothing but 96 into 2, or if you simplify this, this will be 96 into 2, this will be 48 into 4, this will be 24 into 8, or if you do some prime factorization for this value, let's divide this with 16, no? 16 into 12. So this value is 16 into 12 into 24, or 16 into 4 into 3 into 24. 16 is square of 4. 4 is square of 2. Under root 3 into 24. If you multiply all these values, you will get 192 root 3, the same value. So even if you don't know the formula, you know that half into base into height. You use the logic that the height of an equilateral triangle will be altitude also, and it will divide the other side into two equal parts. So it will be a by 2 and a by 2. You apply the Pythagoras theorem here you get the value of a, or side. You already know the height. You can apply half into base into height, that is area of the triangle, and you can also arrive at the same. But remember that if you directly know the formula, you can put the value of a and you can easily find out the area. So this is one way. There are multiple ways also, but an equilateral triangle, because it is used quite often and the questions are asked directly based on this multiple times, so it is better that you go through some of the easiest ways to find out the height and area of an equilateral triangle. Okay, so this is the next question. Okay, this is also that something we have studied in one of the slides. Try to solve this. Okay. Yeah, good evening, Alok. Okay, we'll solve this. Basically, it is having two terms. The question is having two terms: radius of the in circle, or basically in radius, and you are given the three sides. We studied one thing, the relation between area of the circle, area of the triangle, and in radius. We can apply the direct relation here. The relation was area of triangle is equal to in radius into semi-perimeter. Semi-perimeter is half of the perimeter of the triangle. For the students who are already aware about Pythagoras triplets and all, you can easily notice that 3, 4 and 5 makes a Pythagoras triplet. It means this is a Pythagoras or basically this is a right angle triangle. So we have right angle triangle 3, 4 and 5, because this is become Pythagoras triplet, and only Pythagoras theorem is only applied to right angle triangle. Now we can find out the area of this triangle very easily, because we know the height, we know the base. So area of triangle is equal to half into base, that is 4, into height, which is 3. This is equal to, we are asked the radius of the in circle, or basically we are asked the in radius. In radius is the radius of the circle which is inside the triangle and touching all the three sides. So we are asked the in radius, that is r, into semi perimeter, half of the perimeter of the sides. So perimeter of the side is 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 2. This will be equal to 6 into R into 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12. 12 divided by 2. 6 is equal to R into, this will be equal to 6. 6 and 6 can cancel out, so R will be equal to 1. So in radius of this triangle will be equal to 1 centimeter. For example, if you don't know that 3, 4, 5 is a right angle triangle, then how will you calculate the area of the triangle? We studied this. We know that if we are given the 3 sides, we can apply the Heron's formula to calculate the area of the triangle. Okay, we'll move on to next question. Okay, this is an interesting question. It applies multiple concepts. Try to solve this question. Okay, I think the question was not difficult. It applies to 3 things at the same time in an equilateral triangle. Let's see that. It says that in an equilateral triangle, another triangle is constructed by joining the midpoints of the sides. For example, if we have an equilateral triangle and it is saying that by joining the midpoints, let's say midpoint of this side is this, it is this, and it is this. By joining the midpoints of midpoints, it makes another triangle, that is this triangle. Now if you notice, we studied that midpoint theorem, that is if you join the midpoint of 2 sides, then it will make a side parallel to the third side, and this side will be half of this side. So we can say this side is equal to, if let's say this side is 2a, so we can say this side will be a, because in midpoint theorem we have studied that by joining the midpoints of the 2 sides and making it parallel to the third side, then this side will be half of this side. Similarly, this side is also half of this side because it is joining 2 midpoints, so this will also be a, this will also be a. Also it is a midpoint, this whole side is 2a because it is an equilateral triangle, so all the 3 sides are equal. So this is also a, this is also a, all these sides from here to here are a. So if you notice, it is nothing new, it's just your whole equilateral triangle is divided into 4 equal parts. That is all, there is nothing else. This triangle, this triangle, this triangle and this triangle, all will be having equal area because all the 3 sides and all the 3 triangles are having equal sides. Now let's say we already know that area of an equilateral triangle is what? Equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 into side square. That is root 3 divided by 4 into side. The side of this equilateral triangle is 2a square. We were not given the side, so we can assume any value. That is root 3 divided by 4 into 2 square is 4a square. This can cancel out, so this will be root 3a square. This is the area of this whole equilateral triangle. Okay. Now it says that, so this part is covered. It says that a circumcircle is also constructed on the outer triangle. So in the outside, there is a circle also constructed. Fine. Then find the ratio of the area of the inner triangle. That area of this triangle and to that of the area of the circle. Okay. So it has two parts. First, we need to find the area of the inner circle and then find the area of the circle. Now, if you notice that this area will be nothing but 1/4 of the area of this equilateral triangle, because we know the area of this whole triangle. And if this whole triangle is divided into 4 parts, then the area of only this part will be 1/4 of the area of the whole equilateral triangle. We know that area of the whole equilateral triangle is root 3a square. So if we divide this with into 4, if we divide this with 4, we'll get area equal to each of this triangle. So area of shaded region, or basically 1/4 of equilateral triangle, will be root 3a square divided by 4. We have divided this with 4, so we can get the area of this triangle, inside triangle. Now we need to find the area of the circle. This thing we studied, that if a circle is outside of a triangle and touching all the 3 vertices, it will be called a circumcircle, and the radius of that circle will be equal to circumradius. We need to find the area of this circle. We know that area of a circle is equal to pi r square. So basically we need to find the radius. How can we find the radius? We studied that if we know the height of a equilateral triangle, 2/3 of that height is equal to radius of a circumcircle. So we can find the height. We know that side of the equilateral triangle is 2a. We already just covered how can we find the height in one of the previous questions. We know that if side is equal to a, then height of an equilateral triangle is equal to root 3 divided by 2a. Here we have the side is equal to 2a. So height of the triangle will be root 3 divided by 2 into 2a. 2 and 2 can cancel out. So height of the triangle will be root 3a. And if you know the height, then you can find out the circumradius. The circumradius of a equilateral triangle is 2/3 of the height of the 2/3 of the height of the equilateral triangle. So radius, or we can say circumradius, is equal to 2/3 of height of equilateral triangle. 2/3 into height we know is root 3a. So radius or circumradius is equal to 2 root 3 divided by 3a. Let's once recap if you are not recalling. Yeah, you know that you know the circumradius. How can we find 2/3 of the height of the equilateral triangle, and height of the equilateral triangle is root 3 by 2 root 3 divided by 2 into a. Let's go back. Okay, so you know the circumradius, you can find out the area of the circle. Area of circle is equal to pi into r square, that is 2 root 3 divided by 3a into 2 root 3 divided by 3a. That will be pi, a and a will be a square into root 3 and root 3. We just covered root 3 and root 3 is equal to 3 into 2 and 2 will be 4 divided by 3 and 3 will be 9, or this can cancel out. So this will be 4 pi a square divided by 3. We have got the area of the circle. Let's check what we need to find. We need to find the ratio of the area of the triangle, that is this divided by area of the circle. We have calculated the area of the circle is this. So ratio of ratio of area of triangle divided by area of triangle divided by area of circle, or you can say circle. Area of triangle is root 3 a square divided by 4. Area of circumcircle is 4 pi a square divided by 3. Root 3 a square divided by 4. Whenever you have fraction in denominator, it can go to it can be multiplied, but the fraction will be reciprocal. So this will be 3 divided by 4 pi a square. A square and a square will cancel out. So this will be 3 root 3 into 4 and 4, 16 pi. This will be the ratio. That is option D. You know that we just need to find the height. We just need to understand that if you join the midpoints, this triangle will be equal to all the 3 other smaller triangles. So you find the area, you divide it with 4, you get the area of this triangle. Then you calculated height. From height you calculated circumradius. From circumradius you calculated the area of the circle, and then you find the ratio. It was slightly lengthy question and a lot conceptual, but these kind of questions can definitely be asked. Let's move on to next question. Okay, this is pretty simple question. Try to make the equations. Yeah. Alright, this was an easy question only. You are given some relations and then you are asked the height. So it says that what is the height of the triangle if its area decreases by 8 square meter when the base increases by 1 meter. You know that we are discussing about height and base and area. So we'll apply the formula that area is equal to half into base into height. We don't know the original base and original height. So let's say the height is h and the base is b. Now it says that so area of the triangle will be half into base into height. Now it says that this area decreases by 8 square meters. So this area minus 8 when the base increases by 1 and height decreases by 2. So half times base increases by 1 and base increases by 1 and height decreases by 2. So h minus 2. We'll solve this equation. It has b into h divided by 2 minus 8 is equal to, this will be b plus 1 h minus 2 divided by 2. We can take it to this side. So we have bh divided by 2 minus b plus 1 h minus 2 divided by 2. This minus 8 will go to the other side and it will be positive. Whenever we change the sides, the sign always changes. We have 2 common. We have bh minus, if we multiply inside, b and h will be bh. Remember that there is negative sign outside. So whatever the sign inside will be, it will change. b into h, bh, b into minus 2. Minus 2 and minus 2 will be plus 2. H, this will be minus h and plus 1 minus 2 into minus 2 plus 2. This is equal to 8. Or we can take this 2 to the other side. So this will be into 2, that is 16. If we solve this, this will be this. This will be 2b minus 2. Yeah. So we have 2b minus h plus 2 is equal to 16, or 2b minus h, this plus 2 will go to the other side, that will be minus 2, and 16 minus 2 will be 14. So this is something we have got. We have got basically a relation between base and height from the first part. Now further it says that and its area remains the same. So area will not change when the height increases by 2. If the height increases by 2 and base decreases by 2. So let's say on the other hand, the area will be what? Base into height divided by 2. This is equal to, the area will not change if base increases by 2 and, base decreases by 2 and height increases by 2. Base decreases by 2 into height increases by 2. Divide by 2. Why divide by 2? Because the formula is half into base into height. Half and half can cancel out. So we have bh is equal to, we'll multiply this inside, b into h, bh minus 2 into h, minus 2h, b into plus 2, 2b, and this will be minus 4, minus 2 plus 2. bh and bh can cancel out. So this we have, this minus 4 can come out here, this will be plus 4, and this will be 2 minus 2b minus 2h. We have 2 common to all the sides, so we can cancel out 2 to both sides. So we have 2 is equal to b minus h, or we can say 2 plus h is equal to b. So we get the value of b. We can put that into this equation. So we have twice of b. b is equal to 2 plus h minus h is equal to 14, or this will be plus 4 plus 2h minus h is equal to 14. 2h minus h will be h, plus 4, this will go there to the minus 4 to be minus 4, and this will be 10. So we have got height is equal to 10, and we were asked what is the height of the triangle. So we can easily say height of the triangle is 10 meter. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Yeah, this is an interesting question. It will again apply a few concepts. Let's do this. Okay, I think this is the last question. We'll do this. It says that the number of acute angle triangles whose sides are 3 consecutive positive integers and whose perimeter is at most 100. If you notice, there are 3 things being mentioned here. The first thing, it is an acute angle triangle. The sides are 3 consecutive positive integers and the perimeter is at most 100. We'll work on all these 3 important aspects. First, it says that the sides are 3 consecutive numbers. So let's say if one of the side is x, the smallest side is x. So next side will be x plus 1 and the next side will be x plus 2 because the 3 sides are consecutive numbers. Now, we know that whenever the 3 sides are given, in the first slide we studied that what is the basic concept for making a triangle, that sum of the 2 sides must be greater than the third side and that should be greater than the difference of the 2 sides. So we can find out what can be the lowest or smallest value x can take if it has to make a triangle. So we can find out what is the smallest value of x. The smallest value of x will be when 2 sides must be greater than the third side. So these 2 sides must be, the sum of these 2 sides must be greater than the third side. So x plus 1 plus x plus 2. The sum must be greater than the third side, which is x. We are trying to find the smallest value for x. And this should be greater than the difference of the other 2 sides. We know that difference of these 2 sides is 1 only because they are consecutive number. So this is 1. If we solve this, this is 2x plus 3 should be greater than x and greater than 1. With this, we don't get much, but we get to know that x is definitely greater than 1. So we have, this is something we have used up. Okay. Now we have acute angle triangles. Now when we were discussing acute angle triangles, we know that all the 3 angles are less than 90 degree. And we also studied that the sum of the square of the 2 sides should be greater than the third side. So we can say sum of the square of okay. Sorry, let me check how to get that. Okay, 1 second, I'll check this. One second, guys. Okay. Sorry, guys, just a few seconds. We are checking that. Okay, sorry, it went up. My bad. Okay, my bad. Okay, so we were here. It says that, let me just answer. Okay, yeah, so we have got that the smallest value should the smallest side of the triangle should be definitely be greater than 1. Now it mentioned, we studied that in acute angle triangle, the sum of the square of the two sides definitely should be greater than the third side. So sum of the square of any two sides should be greater than the square of the third side. So let's say the two sides x, these two. So sum of the square of these two sides. This is, we are discussing about acute angled triangle. This should be greater than the third side, that is x plus 2 whole square. If we solve this, we have x square plus, we can apply a plus b whole square, that is a square plus b square plus twice of a and b, that is 2x. This should be greater than the square of the third side, that is x square plus 4, that is 2 square plus twice of a and b, that is 4x. X square and x square can cancel out. X square plus 2x. If we take this to this side, this will be minus 4x and plus 1. If plus 4 is there, it will come here, it will be minus 4. This should be greater than 0. And we have x square. If we solve this, this will be minus 2x. This will be minus 3. This should be greater than 0. Now this is nothing but a quadratic equation. We can solve this. We can say that x square minus 3x plus x minus 3, this should be greater than 0. Or we can say we can take out x common from here. This will be x minus 3 plus 1 x minus 3, this should be greater than 0. Or if it will be x plus 1 x minus 3, this should be greater than 0. Now I hope that you would have studied the concept of inequality. It says nothing but the critical point of these two equations will be, this equation will be 0 at minus 1 and this equation will be 0 at 3. If you put x is equal to 3, this will be 0. If you put minus 1 here, this equation will be 0. So the critical point for this equation is minus 1 and 3. Since this equation should be greater than 0, any value you put between these two equations will not be satisfied. So we can say x has to be either this side or this side. Now x is a side, so it cannot be negative. So we can say that x has to be more than 3. In the first equation we found that x has to be greater than 0. X is the first side or the smallest side. Here we have understood that x has to be greater than 3. So we have used two things, that is consecutive sides and acute angle triangle. We are left with this important clue, that is perimeter should be at most 100. It can be 100 or less than 100, but it should not be more than 100. The perimeter is nothing but sum of all three sides. We know that the sides are x, x plus 1 and x plus 2. So sum of these three sides, that is x plus 1 plus x plus 2. This should be at most greater than or equal to 100. Sorry, this should be less than or equal to 100. The perimeter should be less than or equal to 100. If we solve this, this is 3x plus 3. This should be less than or equal to 100, or 3x should be less than or equal to, plus 3 will go to the other side. This will be minus 3, and 100 minus 3 will be 97. Our x should be less than or equal to 97 divided by 3. This is multiplied here, it will be divided. If you divide, then x will be 32.33. Now from three equations, from consecutive side we have got that x should be greater than 1. From the acute angle triangle we got to know that x should be greater than 3. And from the perimeter we got to know that x should be less than or equal to 32.33. Since the positive, we have the sides as positive integers, it can be maximum 32. So any positive integer less than 32.33 is 32, and x should also be greater than 3. So x can take all the sides from 4 till 32. So how many integers are there? 4 to 32 is 29 integers. So x can take 29 values. Similarly, there can be 29 triangles which can be formed with these three conditions. So the answer has to be 29. From consecutive sides we got to know that x should be greater than 1. From acute angle triangle we got to know that x should be greater than 3. And from perimeter we got to know that the maximum value x can take is 32. So combining all three, we got to know that x should be greater than 3 and x should be less than or equal to 32. So in this range we have 29 integers. So x can take any of these 29 values from 4 till 32. So the number of triangles can be formed is 29. This was the last question. It covered three important aspects: acute angle, perimeter, and consecutive sides, or how a triangle can be formed. So this was the session on triangles. I hope that you would have got to learn a few things about the triangles. These things will be helping you out in a lot of concepts in geometry. There are a lot of questions where the question on triangle is not directly asked, but it is clubbed with any other kind of figure. So and you are asked about some relation, and also if you have a good understanding of different concepts of geometry, it will be very helpful in solving the questions. Again, we have that we have the 5 free marks for IIM Bangalore UG exam. You go to Google, you search Cracku IIM B UG mock test. The first link you will get is of Cracku. All the mocks are free. All the mocks are designed considering what can be asked, and I would highly suggest you guys to take these mocks without any delay and understand that what you are good at. Since there is not much time left, mock can be one of the best way to understand how to prepare further. Lastly, we have our WhatsApp group. As we discussed that today only, we have the IIM Bangalore have dropped this notification that they will be conducting a webinar. For more information about when they will be releasing the admit card and all further updates, you can join Cracku WhatsApp group. We will be dropping all the important notifications as soon as they arrive in the WhatsApp. So to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, just join the group. With that, I'll say good night, you guys.